Hey everybody, it's Chris from Marketing During Tough Times. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to talk about how my greatest career setback became my greatest opportunity. So back in 1990, I had just graduated from Berklee College of Music. I moved to Chicago and I started a guitar school in my apartment. And for a long time, it was just me teaching guitar lessons and working in bands, playing concerts and writing songs and doing records, all that type of stuff that professional guitarists do. What you might not know is during the day, I taught part-time at a college and at a performing arts school. And in my mind, one of those two jobs was gonna turn into a full-time job during the day. And then I would just have this sort of little guitar school on the side, and then I would just perform at night and do concerts, but I would make my living as some kind of full-time professor. And after about 5 years, neither job went anywhere. I had them, they were part-time jobs, but that's all they were. You'd work 16 weeks in the fall, you'd have some time off, you'd work another 16 weeks in the spring, and then you'd have summers off. And it was really just like an okay part-time job a couple days a week. So I kept this guitar school going, and when I needed money, I would just get more students. If I wanted to go on vacation to France, I just got more students, worked more hours. That was just how it worked. But I really thought if I could get this college thing going, that would be great, like teaching at a college. So one day out of the blue, it was probably around late 96, early 97, I had just turned 30. The phone rang and it was a local university. And it was the guy who was head of the department, and I knew who he was. And he said, hey, there's an opening for a guitar teaching position here, and we'd like you to interview. So I had not networked with them. I had not sent them resumes. They heard of me. So it was kind of cool. And I went in and I rocked the interview. It took about an hour. And we had a great conversation. And he said, you're really great. He said, if you play your cards right, if you get this job, this could become like a full-time position, right? You could end up with tenure and everything. So he sort of dangled the carrot that I wanted to hear. I was like, oh man, I'm in. So he calls me the next day and says, I interviewed all the candidates. You are by far the best one. You really understand teaching. You really get it. So I'm gonna bring your name to my dean and I'll call you in a couple days. So a dean is kind of the person who oversees the university, or the departments, and makes sort of the final decision, the green light. So he goes to the dean and says, hey, I've got this guy to fill the guitar position. His name's Chris Wilson. The dean says, I love this. Chris Wilson, never heard of him. Get someone else. And with that, boom, I was off the table. And I wasn't gonna really work at this school because the dean hadn't heard of me. So I was disappointed because I thought, wow, this was my chance. So in that moment, I decided, you know what? I really need to follow the advice that someone had given me back in 1990. And the advice was, whatever you do, just have your own thing and build your own thing. So in that moment, I decided, you know what? I'm going to make my own thing. I incorporated my guitar school. It had not been incorporated yet. So I made it a legal entity. And I got a payroll company and I started hiring people, and that business just grew and grew and grew to the point where eventually I quit my part-time jobs because I didn't need the money and I didn't have the time. Now, had I got that professor job, potential professor job, I would have never done those things. My life would have never gone down the path that it went. I would have probably put all my energy into trying to make this, university part-time job into a full-time job. For what it's worth, all these years later, it's 2020, that position that I did not get never became a full-time job. It never became a tenured professor position. So my life ended up how it was supposed to end up. I ended up having this great business. I have this awesome coaching business. I have this great life, and I'm still out there performing, and I still do teach some guitar lessons and writing songs and working in bands. So what seemed like a setback really set my life on the path that it was probably supposed to be. So I hope you find that story inspiring, and look at some of the setbacks in your life. You never know, it could become your greatest opportunity. All right, I will see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye.